What's the one thing you need to do in 2019 to ensure that you succeed in the restaurant business? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Making Dough Restaurant Show. I'm your host, Hingham, and on this show, we talk about restaurant marketing, restaurant management. We answer your questions and much more. So if this is your first time here, consider subscribing. As I'm recording this show, we are approaching very fast. There has been many trends, upcoming trends, throughout 2017, 2018, and there's a lot going to be happening in 2019. Some of those things we can guess looking at the trends. Some we can't know as things are happening. Things are changing. Technology is changing the way we interact with restaurants. And one thing is really important is as restaurant owners, we need to be on top of it. Today, I want to talk about one thing that won't change, that has never changed, and it will never change. And that is the one thing we do need to focus on when it comes to our restaurant. The human nature never changes. We all want to be loved. We all want to feel special. We all want to feel like we belong. No matter if you own one restaurant or 1,000 restaurants, the fate of your restaurant's success lies in the 3 to 5 mile radius of your restaurant. People who live, people who work, people who do business, go to school, go to churches, go to those grocery stores in the 3 to 5 mile radius of your restaurant. And that's something we have a little bit control over. And you know what? No one can know those people better than you and me, especially if you do live in those neighborhoods, in those areas. Yeah, something may be going on a national level, a trend. For instance, the healthy trend. You will hear in all kinds of news that more and more people are into healthy food. That is a national trend, and to a point, it is true locally. However, only you can consider and know what goes on locally in your neck of the woods. No one can know your customers and their behavior better than you and me. There is a restaurant chain called Pluckers. You may be familiar with them or not. They're famous for their wings. We got a Pluckers very close to our house here. The place is ginormous. I think it's like 6,000 square feet, gorgeous building. We're pretty sure they're putting more than $2 million in the construction. The signs, it's beautiful. They have many, many big TV screens and all of that. It's more like a sports bar. They opened up next to the busiest Mexican restaurant in our town. And we're in Texas. Chuy's is a big deal. When they opened the restaurant, we knew that there are other wings places in town. Obviously, we do have a Buffalo Wild Wings that have been around for a while, again, in our neighborhood. But guess what? Pluckers, from day one, it was packed. Packed as in, it doesn't matter if you go on a Monday at 3 p.m., they have a wait time. So we felt like, well, maybe it's just for a month. Maybe for 2 months. No, the honeymoon keeps going and people keep going back to this restaurant called Pluckers. And you know what's very special about this restaurant? They do not have one menu item less than 1,000 calories on their menu. Even the kids menu is like minimum 700 calories, which I really think it's outrageous for like my 5-year-old to have. We honestly still can't understand why that place is so busy. Again, it all goes back to understanding your demographics. What works in that 3 to 5 mile radius? Pluckers may not work in Seattle. I really don't know if they have a location in Seattle, but it does work well here in Texas, at least in our neighborhood. You need to know what your community wants. What do they care about? And in case of Pluckers, what do they not care about, which is calories. So the one thing you do need to focus on in 2019 to succeed in the restaurant business is your community, especially your local community. And it's never been easier to do that using technology. So here are some of the ways that you can use technology to your advantage to create a sense of community around your brand and elevate what you do offline online. You have to tell stories. You have to tell stories about your community. You have to tell stories about events you're hosting in your restaurant. You have to tell stories about the people in the community, about your team, yourself, your passions, story behind your dishes. That's one way you can create a sense of community. Another one that I want to talk to you today about is this. One of the important ways for you to create a sense of community around your restaurant is to be a connector. As restaurant owners, we have this advantage that we belong to multiple communities. The community with our customers. Our customers themselves work in our community. They're part of different communities, and in a way, we're connected to them. We do have their email addresses. We know what they eat with their family. We know when their birthdays are. We know when they're celebrating a milestone, especially if they order from your restaurant for those milestones or events in their home. We can get face-to-face and talk to them in our dining room. As a business owner, you also belong to your chamber of commerce or the business community. It's very easy. If you're not part of a chamber of commerce or something like that, you really need to start joining networking groups, or just stop by your local chamber of commerce and figure out how you can get involved. This way you can get connected to the city council, to the political thing that's going on in your town that does affect your business, so you need to be involved. You can be connected to bankers. They always have a representative present at like the chamber luncheons and things like that. And other businesses who are present. This is the business community that you belong to. You can connect your customers to other businesses and vice versa. That is powerful. You can connect customers to customers. Another way to do that, you need to connect your customers to your brand and you, the owner. One of the things that you need to do as a restaurant owner is to be active in your local Facebook groups where people are sharing as a family is in need, they need something, or something is coming up in town that you need to be aware of, which is an opportunity for you to get involved. Somebody in the neighborhood, their house burnt down and people are putting meals together to take to that family. Great opportunities to connect the community to you and to your brand. People will check you out. Who is this person? They will come to your profile, and hopefully you've updated your profile. It says owner at blah, blah, blah. People can see, people gradually, it takes a little bit of time, but they will get to know you. You'd be surprised how many people reach out to me from our local Facebook groups directly on my profile, letting me know that a family's in need, or a family that, they just had a baby, if we'd be willing to donate some meals. That is tremendous goodwill. And you know what? They take photos, they take videos of the donation we made. A lot of times they share them back in those Facebook groups. Showing goodwill is priceless. And that is one of our obsessions. It is important to show your face. If you want people to connect to your brand, you need to show your face. Create some videos, talk about different dishes. It doesn't need to be formal, just casual. Talk about, one of the dishes you have. Why is it special? Why did you create it? Why should people try it? Give it away. Be like, hey, comment below and we choose a winner and you can enjoy this dish with your family for free. People always want to connect with a face. You know that a lot of cosmetic or like hair companies spend millions of dollars choosing different celebrities to represent the brand, to be a face of their brand, because that matters. And you know what? You don't need to spend millions of dollars. You can just put yourself in front of a camera, smile pretty, and tell a story. Just be authentic and just imagine you're talking to a person. That has been one of the secrets of why we do not get as many online negative reviews, not because we don't screw up, because just like with anybody else, we do also screw up. It's just that because we've put our face, my husband and I, a lot out in different food production events that we've done and different stuff, people feel as though they know us, they like us, and they trust us, and they send us direct Facebook messages with images of a screwed up dish, that this happened to them, and they know that I personally respond to every single message, especially the screwed up ones, and I make sure to make things right, and they don't see the need to go and bash our brand on Yelp or something like that. So remember that it is critical to show your face and make it easy for people in your community to connect with you and your brand. It's also very important to show our people's faces. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So why does it matter for our customers to feel as though they know our people? Because if you are a restaurant owner just like me, you don't want to be enslaved to your restaurant. And we're not at a restaurant all the time, and we really don't want to be, because we want to work on the business and not in the business. So you're not there as much, and it is critical for your customers to feel also connected to your people. Again, it goes back to the same principle. When we are able to build rapport before people coming into our restaurant, they already will recognize a staff member that we shared a story of, hey, this is Emily, this is her favorite dish. She's studying, she's hoping to become a nurse. This is her passion. And she loves, she's worked at our restaurant since when, and say hello to her next time you see her, or sharing, a team member's birthday's coming up, or, they're playing for blah, 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 football team, local, things like that. When people feel like they know our people, when the community feels like they know our people, it builds rapport. And next time when there is an issue, and I'm not saying if there is an issue, there's always going to be an issue. If you're processing thousands of tickets, a few of them we may screw up here and there. It's just what's going to happen. If a customer feels that there is that rapport, then they're more likely to bring it to our attention privately instead of going to Yelp and blast us. Have you ever thought why people go off on Yelp, or, because Yelp is a famous one, right? On any of the review sites, and they just bash a restaurant, not caring about the implications of this 1 star that they're giving to this restaurant. And as restaurant owners, it's really easy for us to get defensive. Dude, you didn't even give us a chance. Why did you not bring it to our attention? Without realizing we failed the customer because we did not build rapport. And yes, it is important to build rapport, our people in the store, spending time getting to know our customers. But if you can systematically do that, so all this to say that it is critical more than ever that you and I focus on our community. By that, I mean our local community, the 3 to 5 mile radius around your restaurant. What are they into? What do they like? What do they care about? What do they not care about? And that should be our focus, no matter what goes on a national level, which it is important to focus on. And we cover a lot in this show, going over some of the trends. So we are always on offense as restaurant owners, but it is critical for you and I to focus on our community. And that goes beyond technology. No matter what trends come up, if you understand the people around you and what it is that they're into, it is easier to serve them and stand out in the community and make sure that we continue to grow our sales more than ever in 2019, which is our hope for you and obviously for us as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to another show, and I appreciate your time. Be sure to subscribe so we can stay in touch. And now let's get back to work and make some dough.